We mowed through week 15. Let's roll with it. Well, week 15 is done. We're starting to get into some cooler weather for a change. It's a welcome change, I'll tell you. This summer was hot for sure, so it's nice to cool off. This is the last week before the time change, and so moving forward, my midweek workouts will probably move indoors. Kind of a bummer, but it's the way it goes. Let's go to the summary. I'll give you the distances for the week. In the swim, we had 5,250 yards. In the bike, we had 70.6 miles. And in the run, we had 13.5 miles for a total work time of 7 hours and 32 minutes. So pretty good week overall. So conditions, cooler weather. We had a front that came in on Wednesday and caused some rain on Wednesday night, so I had to do the trainer ride indoors. But my Thursday long run, was just another great run. Cool weather. I think it was in the 60s, like 64, low humidity. And then my Saturday 50-mile bike ride was also beautiful. It was in the 50s, 60 when I got on the bike, but it had gotten down into the high 40s, I think, the night before. So another great day, although the wind, good Lord. So we had a cool front come in from the north, but the south wind that next day was just brutal. Had to have been 20 plus miles an hour. I know that because on my way back north in the loop, I was riding 20 miles an hour and I felt like it was in a vacuum. I mean, everything was still. And so that tells me that south wind was blowing around 20 plus. So it was heading south was pretty brutal. And the crosswinds with those carbon wheels pushing me all over the place. I'm going to have to get used to that. I'll still take the carbon wheels, but anyways, yeah. But cooler weather, it's great. Let's see. Looks like going forward, I mentioned daylight savings time, and so it's going to get dark about 5:45 or so, like too dark to be out on the bike, and really on the run too. For me, once it gets dark, my depth perception has kind of gone away, and so it gets dark. I'm worried I'm going to twist an ankle or whatever, and so I'm going to have to start running on the treadmill, which is kind of a bummer for those long runs. My Thursday is my long run. Get off work, go to the gym, get on that on that treadmill for 2 hours to do a 12-mile run. I mean, it's a beat down on that treadmill, and I don't like the way it feels on my feet. My foot strike feels unstable because that bed is a little bit, it's just not paving. And so I'll have to get used to that. But it's just, I have no other choice. Okay. Injury update. So I've got this issue with my right pinky toe on my right foot. I don't know what it is. It's like it's bruised. It's on the outside edge, just right at or below the nail, and never had that before. But it just stays constantly like a deep bruise. I have no idea. So the first mile and a half of the run is really uncomfortable. I mean, it just flat hurts. Then it kind of numbs out, and the run is fine. And then afterwards, though, as you'd expect, it's sore, and then it kind of goes away, but then comes back, just for no particular reason. So I do not know what it is. I'm hoping it will go away, which is what I want it to do. I'll keep you updated. Otherwise, injuries report, nothing new, no nagging issues. My shoulder's weak, but I'm just managing it. So overall, we're in pretty good shape. So that's it. Week 15, I'd say thumbs up, is successful. Certainly take more of those. Certainly the weather's been a factor, so thank the Lord for cool weather. That's it. See you next week. Okay, so this week's Ironman tip of the week, we're going to talk about managing your emotions. Okay, for those of you who have trained endurance, any kind of long distance, anything, you probably know what I'm talking about. The psychological aspect of training for and racing Ironman, for example, is arguably the toughest part of that whole program. But I'm convinced that if you stick to your plan, make your workouts, that you can overcome those, those dark moments that will inevitably come in your training and possibly on race day. So let's talk about some tips that I have for managing your emotions. Tip number one is to be physically prepared. Okay, my experience in training for Ironman the first time, the most important part of mental preparedness is to be physically prepared. And what I mean by that is stick to your plan, make your workouts. It's 40 week. Mine is a 40-week program. That means 6 days a week of training. That means 6 days a week of training. Don't miss a workout. Don't go in thinking that if you get most of your workouts, that's good enough. Mentally, you have to overcome the excuses, the things that will come up. I have a wedding today. I'm doing this video early in the morning before church because I have a wedding after church, and I still have to go run 6 miles. Well, so I have choices. I can say, well, do I have to really run? I'm going to run out of time. I'll just worry about it tomorrow. Ain't happening. I'm running. It's going to happen. Those are the mental battles that you have every day that you have to deal with. So being physically prepared by making your workouts is going to give you the confidence come race day. Okay, you're not going to be worried that you're not going to be able to make the distance. Okay. Tip number 2, I call it winning the daily battle. Like I mentioned, you stick to the plan, you make all your workouts, you're going to experience all those adverse conditions that you're likely going to face on come race day. So every day, every workout day, you have a battle between you and yourself, the way I look at it. Fear of pain, fear of injury, fear of failure. Fear can creep into your workout, especially when conditions are tough. It's too hot outside, or it's too cold outside, or you had a stressful day at work, or you didn't get much sleep, or there's a long list of reasons why you battled yourself come workout time. It's during those workouts that you have to win the emotional battle. But when you do, you build up a resistance to that fear. I think of it kind of as, if you know anything about, we're going to talk about carbon in our topic. You lay up layer after layer of successful battles, and so you're essentially building this armor, this emotional armor, so that come race day, you're pretty much prepared for anything they throw at you, the course throws at you. And there will always be things that you'll have to deal with on race day. You forget something, you can't find your nutrition, you're watching heart rate isn't working, whatever, okay? Things that would, had you not prepared physically for and emotionally daily winning those battles, you might fall apart. So, okay, so then lastly, on race day, it's a long day. You get up early in the morning, everything's kind of off. You're at least 3 hours ahead of your normal routine, and that alone can throw a kink in things. So when you get to that point in the race where everything starts to fall apart, and it will happen, typically about mile 13 on the run start to be those man miles, I call them. and that's when things start to get shaky. That's when you focus on those breakthrough workouts where you won the emotional battle, where you push through pain, you push through the fear, whatever it was. You focus on those days, those successes. Uh, I'm telling you, it makes a difference. Remind yourself that you overcame those fears on those days. Uh, have confidence in the emotional armor that you built over months and months and months of training. Okay. If you don't do the months and months and months of training, race day could be really, really difficult. Not so much that you don't have the aerobic base to make the long day, but emotionally, you have shortchanged yourself and could potentially result in a DNF because you give up. And you know, none of us are superheroes. We're all humans. Okay, we're all just mostly regular folks. We don't have some amazing, huge heart or huge, physical ability that you can just do it without trying. It's an emotional race. It's a mental race. So prepare yourself physically by working out, not missing a workout. Uh, you build up that emotional armor. You stick to your workouts. You stick to the plan. Uh, win the daily emotional battles. You will have a great race day. My Ironman tip of the week. Hope it helped. So thanks again for watching. Remember that we're training for Ironman and we're doing these videos to help raise funds for tying vines and their work with Syrian refugees in Lebanon. If you want to learn more about tying vines and our fundraiser, be sure and click on the my Ironman Foundation webpage. The link is in the description below, and if you're there, hit that donate button. Every little bit helps. $10, I think, is the minimum. $10, I'll take it. All right. If you like the video, be sure and give us a thumbs up. If you want to watch more of our videos, tips, and topics, hit the subscribe button and click on that notification icon, and you'll get reminders. Thanks again, and we will see you next week.